Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, wife meeting my mother and family for the first time after 6 years of marriage. JustNoMil can't accept that I'll probably need time to adjust after having a baby. Should step-mil stay banned, or are we being unreasonable? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Wife meeting my mother and family for the first time after 6 years of marriage. So as the title suggests, my wife will potentially be meeting my family for the first time in the last 6 years. No text/phone calls. Things haven't been great due to cultural differences, hence the lack of meeting. I just wanted to ask, for the first meeting, my wife doesn't want them coming to our house. She wants to meet in a neutral outside location, but in my culture it's rude to not invite family to your house. Especially if they are going to air things out and talk about how to move forward, they want it to be in a private setting. I'm on my wife's side, but I somewhat see it from my family's side too. Ultimately, it's what my wife would be more comfortable, even if I don't want it to be an extra issue on top of what's already happening with them thinking she's being rude not wanting to invite them into our home. I think it's best for her to be more comfortable when meeting them for the first time. Just wanted thoughts and advice from the group. In my culture it's rude not to invite family to your house. You've been married for 6 years and haven't introduced your spouse? Really? You're following cultural rules, are ya? Support your spouse. Meetings at neutral location. Expect the show that is likely to happen, and mark your calendar for 6 more years. It's been 6 years, your wife is already uncomfortable going into this meeting. Having it at a neutral location allows everyone the ability to walk away if things get to be too much. You don't have this option if you invite them into your house for this meeting. I understand that there are cultural norms at play, but they've also been absent from your life for the past 6 years. I'm confused. First time ever meeting her, or first time in 6 years? My home is my safe place. Even if I'm arguing with my husband, I'm still safe in my home because we respect and love each other. Before I met him, the places where I lived were not always safe places, and that was extremely taxing. His parents aren't safe people. They attack, they lie, they bully. They aren't permitted in my home, because it is a place filled with love and happy memories. They've never been here. Memories attached to physical location is a big deal to some people. If your wife says it can't be in your home, then you should respect that. If your family has negative energy or are likely to attack or gang up on her, then bringing them into your home could seriously mess up her feeling of safety. The title says first time meeting them after 6 years of marriage, so I'd say first time ever, I think. The home is your wife's safe space and sanctuary, where she needs to feel protected from any kind of abuse, assault, or intimidation from a group of people who presumably have a history of similar things, to the degree that the two of you felt the need to cut off your family of origin for 6 years. You picked your wife to be your partner in life and left your family to create a new one with her. Her needs should take priority over your family of origin's wants. That said, neutral territory doesn't have to mean airing dirty laundry in public. There are a lot of options between I'm not comfortable with the first meeting being in my home and we must say everything to everyone. Rent a hotel room or suite and bring in a meal for your guests. Find a conference room for the afternoon. Enjoy an afternoon at a local park, zoo, or other attraction together. Most zoos, museums, and theme parks have meeting rooms available. Look at the library or local university for free meeting rooms. Find whatever works to make your wife feel comfortable and your family feel respected. This is an incredibly bad idea. Your wife has never met your family. I read the one time she reached out, your brother was mean to her. Your mother has had 6 years to write a letter, send a text, or set up a call to say her piece. In fact, your family has never reached out to your wife. It sounds like your poor wife is being set up to take a verbal beatdown from your mother. You decided to move and marry your wife. You own that decision. This is your family. What do you want from this meeting? What is the goal? Call your mother. Ask her exactly what she wants to convey to your wife. What does your mother want this talk to accomplish? What does clearing the air actually mean? Without a clear goal, it will not be productive. Personally, this first meeting would be a video call. Decide now if your family starts yelling, calling names, gets disrespectful to hang up. This call is not going anywhere. I am hanging up. Then do it. After 6 years, who the EFF cares how your mom felt about not being invited to the wedding? That is her issue, not your wife's, since you were the one who didn't want her there in the first place. I don't care what culture your mother is, she needs to get the hell over it. You're married, have been for a while now, and your wife isn't going anywhere. If mom wants a relationship with you, she needs to take off her pouty panties and put on her big girl underwear and enjoy her whole family. Prioritize your wife. Period. Her feelings and culture matter. Having hostile strangers in her safe place? I can't think of anyone that would willingly go along with that. They want privacy? Rent a hotel room or a private room in a restaurant. Just because your family whistles doesn't mean you have to go running. And after reading your comments, drop the right now mindset. What your parents broke may never be fixed. And that's their fault. Actions have consequences. And it's not your wife's responsibility to make those go away for your family. That's fair. I appreciate the advice. You're right, I should try and get out of that mindset. Take my poor man's gold, please. Why, after 6 years of ostracizing her, are they wanting to air things out? Is there something they want from you? Or is there a baby on the way? Unless they have been doing some serious work on themselves, this is most likely completely self-serving. It's likely to only cause more hurt feelings on both sides. Genuine attempts at repair start with sincere apologies. Apologies that include all the steps, including being okay if they are not forgiven. Insisting on a meeting that must be held in your house or it's rude is a bully move. Demanding that your wife hears them out before being allowed to speak is also a bully move. If they really wanted to repair, they could have sent a letter, recorded a video, had a phone call on speaker, or any number of ways to communicate. Insisting on a face-to-face meeting seems like they are planning on using intimidation tactics. No way should they be allowed into you and your wife's safe space and sanctuary. You should also have a safe word or signal so you can tell each other when you want to leave. Honestly, if I was your wife, I would just listen and then leave. Especially if they present a list of demands. There is nothing to be gained by speaking her mind. To her, they are strangers. Strangers who have judged her and hated her without ever even meeting her. They would have to have one amazing apology to ever be considered as anything more. Dude, your mother doesn't need to talk to your wife about her feelings about you not inviting them to your wedding. This isn't about a conversation, she essentially blames your wife for it. Your wife doesn't owe her an apology. In fact, I would never allow this to happen because this is a trap. She just wants to say all the things that your wife is wrong about and then talk over your wife as she defends herself. She wants to meet at your home so she can be her true self. She doesn't get to see your home until she can behave like an adult and take accountability for her own behavior and makes changes. Yeah, you're right on the money with this one. JustNoMil can't accept that I'll probably need time to adjust after having a baby. I mentioned to my MIL today that I will not have visitors at the hospital and will need a maximum of 3 to 4 weeks after getting home to bond and adjust. I made it clear that that specific time frame is a maximum and it would likely be sooner, and she would be the first to know when visitors would be acceptable. I just wanted a buffer because when I feel overwhelmed, the worst thing I can do is socialize. I'm quite extroverted, but finding out I was pregnant caused me to be drained by every social interaction for like 4 months. I'm being cautious because I'm extra prone to PPD/PPA, so if I give myself time to not expect visitors, then I'll likely feel up for it sooner. She said, I don't know if we can accept that. My first thought was, well, I hope it can sink in because it's happening with or without your acceptance. Full like, oh, you can't accept it? That ain't got sh*t to do with me. MIL, I don't know if we can accept that. UMIL, you misunderstood. I wasn't asking permission. I was telling you. I consider getting a Ring doorbell or similar because she's told you she's not going to accept yours very reasonable boundaries. A decent MIL would say, I understand. If you are okay with it, I can drop off a casserole and some groceries on your front porch. No need for me to intrude. Even saying I'm a little disappointed, but I'll get over it. Let me know when you feel up to having company. But saying I don't know if we can accept that is a huge red flag about how she sees your relationship with her. It sounds like she considers you and your husband to be kids playing house, while she has the authority as maternal overlord. Good luck and I hope things go peacefully for you. I don't know if we can accept that. I'm not asking. Is that a royal we? My first thought about I don't know if I can accept that was, honey, it's not contingent on your acceptance. It just is. Or maybe just buying her a lovely framed copy of the Serenity Prayer as a new grandma gift. Oi. Wishing you an easy delivery, much joy, and a clue to your MIL. Honey, it's not contingent on your acceptance. It just is. Big posters of this. Or cross-stitching if that's your thing. Skywriting, billboards, whatever. If you don't want to accept it now, that okay MIL. I'll be standing by for your apology when you do want to accept it and work on repairing our relationship. Just a heads up, I'm giving myself a time out from messaging you, so I blocked you temporarily for my mental health. Speak to DH for now. Love this. You don't have to accept that. You just have to comply. My feelings and recovery come before your wishes. Excellent first thought. She's told you what she is, an adult with a toddler's mindset. So manage her like a toddler. Be firm, clear, calm, brief, and immediate. My first thought was, well, I hope it can sink in because it's happening with or without your acceptance. And my first thought after reading this was, yeah, OP is gonna be fine. Sure, MIL might try to give her crap, but OP will hand it right back. Good for you. And congrats on the pregnancy. K, now it's 8 weeks. Accept that, MIL. Honestly, I would LOL. The pressure you've put on me to allow you to visit so soon has me feeling anxious, which my doctor says isn't good for the baby. So we've decided to go 8 weeks with no visitors, and I'm hoping I'll feel less anxious by then, but I'll have to keep you posted. Should Step MIL stay banned, or are we being unreasonable? Our relationship with my husband's family has been very strained since before I got pregnant. His stepmother, married to his dad for a few years, has constantly made nasty comments to me, and they have both constantly violated every boundary my husband and I have tried to put in place. We all sat down and had a conversation about boundaries, which has come to no avail. Less than 2 weeks before I had my baby, she came over to our new house we had just moved into with FIL so we could show them the new place, as we were very proud of our new home. FIL decided to pick a fight with my husband, and she used the opportunity to go into my unborn son's nursery and rifle through his room and all of the gifts people had given us. I noticed it was odd she was missing and walked in on her doing it. She knew she was caught and just shrugged at me like she knew it was wrong, but she was never going to acknowledge it. She was looking for her daughter's son's blanket, which my husband and I had both looked through the house for after getting several texts from her and FIL and assured her we searched the house and absolutely did not have it. If she was so sure it accidentally got mixed in, all she had to do was ask if she could have a look and we would have helped her. was angry, especially since there was never an apology, but I moved on until they came over for Christmas. For context, she and Phil never came over to help with the baby born beginning of December. They never offered to do so much as drop off a meal for us. This is my first baby, and my sister was fighting for her life in the hospital, which meant my family was not able to be there to help us. In addition to that, when they finally did come over after refusing to get COVID tests but eventually agreeing to wear masks around the baby, they made snide comments the entire time they were there, and she raised her voice at me with the baby in the room, which I had previously warned would get her removed permanently from being around my baby until she could re-establish trust that she would not be disrespectful around my son. I have held true to my boundary and am now getting pushback that I am being unfair and all kind of nasty comments from the rest of his family. Phil is still welcome but refuses to go anywhere without her, and as a result is telling everyone we are refusing to let him see the baby. AITA, should I just drop it, or should I hold firm to our request? Phil does visits alone until step mil shows she is not going to yell around my son and do things like rifle through our belongings with no remorse. NTA. Hold firm. If you give in now, you'll be setting a precedence of always giving in. There are consequences for your stepmother's actions. She broke your rules, she now has to live with the consequences. You're definitely NTA, your baby, your house, and your rules. Don't back down, protect the tiny human as he cannot protect himself from these toxic people. How and what has your husband said about everything SMIL has done / is doing? Honestly, ignore the backlash. Don't engage with the people who weren't there and who aren't a part of the situation. It's not going to stop your FIL or SMIL from spreading their false narrative. You got this, drop the rope and don't let these people poison yours and your son's life. Stand your ground. She is FIL's wife, not a step anything. It's possible FIL will choose over his son and grandchild, but he doesn't sound like any kind of peach either. I wouldn't let her in my home under any circumstances. You get into my stuff, you're permanently banned. If you choose to allow her near you, it should be in a public place or not at all. My life experiences are filled with troublesome family members. I placed folks in different pots depending on their lifestyle, drugs, ability to interact, combative, and then folks who know how to act around other humans. Some folks are welcome to the house. I trust them not to steal checks, go through private papers, and my mail. We enjoy them and enjoy our time together. Other folks are lunch relatives. We must go out into public to meet. Lunch, dinner, only short timeframes where we are in public. Also with specific times like restaurant meals, we can control the time we are around them. There is a start, middle, ending to the interaction. And then the other folks aren't allowed to the house, ever. We don't trust them in the house because of the high probability of thief, mining for information, paperwork, taxes, mail, or their inability to treat us in a normal manner. These folks are lucky to even get a lunch date once a year. Some I will never see until it's a funeral or wedding. If, when you guys are ready, perhaps a restaurant meal is the way to start moving forward. Their behavior at that meal can help you guys decide if you want to move forward. And perhaps they will be restaurant relatives forever. I'm so sorry you have to deal with all the negativity during a time that was already high stress with your sister's health. Stand your ground. She is not related to your nuclear family at all except by marriage. This means that she does not get to run all over your boundaries. If FIL picks her over his son, then FIL gets the same bans as she does. I am a step-parent and I can tell you that everything she is doing boils down to her trying to show your DH that she is the number one person in his dad's life and that your DH doesn't matter anymore. Also, everything she is doing is completely out of line. Stand your ground and keep this vile woman away from you and your child. Why are you going to drop it? You've done the hardest bit, you've established boundaries. That is the stage we try to get people to. That is the stage people go to therapy for. Don't undo all the good work. I have no idea why FIL is welcome, he needs to be ditched too. Forget they exist and enjoy your life. Trust me, when you get rid, life is amazing. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.